Hey everyone, this is Alex or PolymomoTea, and today I have a video showing how to make this cookie run themed Demon Slayer pieces out of resin and polymer clay. And I'm using the mold I got from my Sophie and Toffee Elves box called Cookies Revenge. And it got me these really cute gingerbread-like molds, so I decided I kind of want to make them a little bit themed. So I decided to go for a Demon Slayer theme. And these are all the other items that are in the box. So I am using the silicone mold of the gingerbread man, and this is such a cute mold, I love it. So I decided to add some UV resin into my well and mixed in the gingerbread pigment into it. And I poured the resin into the mold, and I just moved the mold around to make sure that it reached all the little pieces. And I let it cure under the UV lamp until fully hardened. And then once hardened, I just took some like wire pliers and I snapped off the little edges on top. And the gingerbread man has some indents in there for some detail, so I took some white acrylic paint and I just used a dotting tool and I painted in the little outline. And using some red paint, I filled in the mouth and the little blush. And then using my nail, I just kind of carved away the excess. So first we're going to make Tanjiro, so I'm taking some black clay and I'm rolling it out into kind of a thick strip. And using our knife, we're just going to cut out a little rectangle shape. And the uniform has a little bit of a white collar, so I took some white clay, cut out like a weird T shape and made some indents into it. And once finished, I placed that on top of the black shirt. And then on the shirt, I made an indent coming from the collar, and I added some white little dots for buttons. And then we're gonna make the outerwear, which is the iconic checkered pattern. So I took some teal clay and kind of made it into a rectangular shape and cut in half. And I'm putting it with some black rectangles. So we're gonna make a cane by flattening it out into a square and slowly pulling it out. And we have a little nice checkered pattern. So I'm just putting them together. And we're gonna cut off the black shirt a little bit so it's a little bit skinnier so we can make room for our little checkered pattern and place that on the sides. And at the shoulders, I'm gonna cut it at a slant so we can add some sleeves to it. For the hair, I'm taking some, basically they're shaped like bananas out of brown clay. And I just honestly added it until I was kind of content with how the hair looked. Then for the scar, I took some acrylic paint and just drew out a little shape. And then I added the clothes back on along with the hair. And then he's ready to bake. Next we'll be working on Nezuko, so I'm taking some pink clay and we're going to cut it out to a rectangular shape for her kimono. And I'm going to add a little white lining at the end of her dress. cut out a little triangle for the collar and then add white lining again. And then this is the hard part. I made the indents of the design of Nezuko's dress. It was very, very difficult. I kind of had to plan how I was going to do it at first. But basically a bunch of triangles with little lines in between. So it kind of looks like that flower look. And then we're going to cut off the ends to make space for the outerwear. So next I'm going to make another cane similar to Tanjiro's checkered outerwear. We're going to do it with red and white. And this is going to be for like that little ribbon that wraps around her dress. And instead of just doing 4 squares, we're going to add 4 canes together to make it kind of a more smaller checkered pattern. And I'm placing that across her little kimono and cutting off the ends. And there's a little string or rope that ties around it, so we're taking some orange clay, rolling it out to a thin snake, and I'm just going to fold it in half and place that along the little checkered part and cut off the excess. And then making indents in the middle for the little knot and placing 3 little ovals onto the knotted area. Then for the outerwear, we're going to take some black clay and cutting out into thin strips. And we're going to cut the shoulders again to add space for the sleeves. For the bamboo, we're going to take some forest green clay and roll it out into a thick strip and cut out a little cylinder and then cut that in half. And then we're going to roll a thin snake of the same colored clay and wrap it around the bamboo 4 times. And we are going to place that over the mouth. And then for the hair, I'm going to take some orange clay and roll it with some black clay. And we're going to give Nezuko some hair. And then for her ribbon, I just added 2 little pink wedges and a little ball in the middle. And Nezuko is complete. Next, we're going to go on to Zenitsu. So we're going to take some yellow and orange clay, roll into teardrop shapes, and then just continuously blend it together so we have a nice gradient. And I'm going to cut it out into a couple of strips. Just make sure you make enough so in case you mess up, you don't have to re-roll it again. And I put the same black shirt that Tanjiro had, except I forgot the white buttons, which is annoying, but it's the same shirt. And we're gonna add the little sleeves again. Next, I'm adding a bunch of white triangles all over the design. For Zenitsu's hair, I'm gonna take some yellow clay and cut out a little rectangle, and then I'm gonna add a little strip of orange to the end. Give it a little roll so it blends it together, and then cut it out into some strips. And we're just gonna add that and give Zenitsu some hair. And just add some extra so it looks a little bit rounded out. And then here is the finished Zenitsu. And lastly, we're on to Inosuke. So I'm gonna take some blue clay and flatten it out. And we're gonna cut out some shorts for him. And I'm using the gingerbread itself to cut out the shorts design, just following along the outline. And then I'm going to take some tan clay and roll into a snake and flatten it out. And then we're just going to make some edge marks to make it kind of like fur design. We're going to place that on top of the shorts and cut off the excess. And we're gonna flatten out some tan circle, and we're gonna cut out like triangle shape at the bottom, and this will be Inosuke's pig head, which will add a little pink triangle with 2 little pink teardrops inside for the nose. And for the ears, we're gonna take some pink and tan clay and cut into a triangle, cut it in half, and mix the pink and tan together. And place that onto our Inosuke head. And then I'm adding some black eyes with some blue circles on the inside. And then I added some pupils, but I thought those were really small, so I made them a little bit bigger so they look a lot less creepy. And then little triangles for the tusks. And then we're gonna bake it in the oven according to instructions. And it was fine with the resin. The resin did not melt, which was good because I was afraid, and it didn't melt the paint either. So here I have my 4 Demon Slayer cookie runs. Zenitsu still doesn't have buttons. So annoying. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. And let me know which Demon Slayer character you like the best.